Hey, I'm McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates, and today we're going to look at the home buying process in 7 steps. Now, I've filmed videos on the home buying process in the past, gone into a lot of detail. Today, we're going to do this short and concise, and we're going to jump right into step number 1. Step number 1 in the home buying process is to get educated. And there are lots of different ways to get educated about the home buying process. You can go online and watch videos or read blogs, which is what you're probably doing right now. If you're seeing this video, you can attend open houses and familiarize yourself with the different neighborhoods. Maybe go on to websites like Zillow and see, what homes are selling for in the different neighborhoods that you like. Maybe check out some of those neighborhoods, drive around. And a lot of people in this phase will also pick a real estate agent and meet with them for coffee or lunch, learn a little bit about the process and discuss their situation in more detail. Step number 2 in the home buying process is to get pre-approved for a mortgage. Now, this mortgage pre-approval serves 2 primary purposes. First of all, it tells you as the buyer how much you can afford. And as a buyer, that'll help you decide, okay, which neighborhoods can I afford to buy in, or what kinds of houses can I afford to buy in that particular neighborhood. And then second of all, it also informs the seller when you make your offer that you qualify for purchasing their house. So during the pre-approval process, the lender is going to be looking at a few different things. They're going to be looking at your income, how much you make, your assets, how much you have, and then they're also going to be looking at your credit. All of these different factors are going to help them decide, first of all, how much you qualify for, and then what the interest rate's going to look like for the term of your loan. Step number 3 in the home buying process is to determine your home search criteria. So in this step, you're going to be asking all sorts of questions, and you might have already answered some of them in these first 2 steps as you're getting educated and getting pre-approved. You're going to be asking questions like, what neighborhood do I want to live in? How long of a commute do I want to have? How many bedrooms do I want? How many bathrooms do I want? How big of a house do I want? You're going to be asking other questions like, what other features and benefits do I want in my house? What kind of house do I want? Do I want a condo? Do I want a townhouse? Do I want a traditional single family house with, a big yard and a fence? And these are all going to be informed by your pre-approval. So you get your pre-approval amount and then you kind of apply it as a filter over all these things that you want, and it kind of helps you sort out the different priorities. Now, you're going to want to make a list of things that you like to have in your house, things that you need to have in your house, and then also maybe some things that you don't want to have in your house, right? Some of those deal killers. Another thing that people find helpful in this part of the process is to decide if they're most interested in a location or a specific type of house, because sometimes you have to drive a little bit farther to get that dream house or that ideal house. But if you're more excited about a neighborhood, you might have to compromise more on the house so that you can live where you want to live. Step number 4 in the home buying process is to view properties. And if you're one of the many buyers that starts their home search online, actually over 90% of home buyers start their search online, you've probably already explored websites like Zillow or Trulia or Redfin or Realtor.com, whatever websites you like to use to find homes. You might have even attended open houses already, and that can certainly be part of this process as well. But this is when we together get to go look at houses, and I set up appointments and we go and we really seriously consider some of these houses that are on the market, because it goes from a educational exploratory process in those first few steps to, okay, I've got my pre-approval, I know what I want, and now I'm ready to take action on it. And during this process, I like to call it collaborative because there's so much information available to buyers like yourself online and all these websites. There's not a lot of secret properties that I know about, but I might find it first, you might see it first, and that's where that collaboration part comes in. And we can set appointments to take a look at houses together, or if you like the open houses and like to just kind of go explore by yourself on the weekends, that's totally cool. Each buyer has their own style. Step number 5 in the home buying process is negotiating the contract. This is the part that we're all most excited about and also maybe the most nervous about if you're buying your first home. In this phase, people typically ask me, Zach, how do I know when we found the right house? When do I know when it's time to make an offer? And my answer mainly to them is you'll just know. There's going to be houses that meet your specific criteria, but it's really when you get that feeling, and it's hard to really tell you what it is, but you'll know what I'm talking about. You get that feeling about a house and you'll go from like, oh yeah, cool, it's a good house, to like, oh, we want to live here. We want to live here. So that, can I see myself living in this house? Do I want to be living in this house? Those kind of questions start to get answered with a yes, definitely. This is the house for me. Once we decide, and once you decide, okay, yeah, this is the house for me, we will work together on the price and the terms of the offer. Now, price is typically the part of the offer that most people focus on, and of course, that's an important piece. There are also lots of other terms in the contract that can be negotiated as well, and some of those include things like earnest money and things like the contract contingencies, the buts in the contract. And as a buyer, all of those different things are important, and depending on the situation, if there's multiple offers, those terms can become really, really, really important, and how we negotiate our offer. And the same thing goes if a house has been on the market for a little while. The price might be more negotiable, right, in that situation, and we can supplement, maybe make some of the terms better for the seller to offset that. But there's lots of fun parts of the negotiation, and of course, we'll work together on a strategy and come up with how we want to approach the seller in the specific situation. Now, typically there is a little bit of back and forth in any real estate negotiation, and so what we're going for in the end here is what's called mutual acceptance, and that's when you, as the buyer and the seller, agree together on the contract terms. Step number 6 in the home buying process is due diligence, and this is typically the longest part of the process. Well, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find the house, but this is maybe the second longest part in the whole process. Typically takes 30 to 45 days to go from contract to close on your house. Sometimes it's a little faster, sometimes it's a little longer, but that's kind of a good rough ballpark for the time window that we're looking at. During this phase, we're going to be doing inspections, we're going to be working on your financing, we're going to be working with contractors if work needs to be done on the house. In all of this, I become more like a project manager on the back end. So I'm managing all the details, keeping you informed about the process. As a buyer, you're most concerned with your inspection and also your financing. Of all the things on the back end, the financing piece is the biggest focus for you as a buyer. The last and final step of the home buying process, step number 7, is closing. Now, this is the culmination of everything that you and we have been working for throughout the whole process, going from the exploratory stage all the way to getting your keys. So this closing process happens, again, it takes about 30 to 45 days to go from contract to closing, and the final push here is getting that final approval on your home loan, and then scheduling a signing with the escrow company, and they're the people that handle all the money. They're a neutral third party to the transaction, and they will schedule the signing with you once they have the loan documents, and they will make sure that the final documents are actually recorded with the county. So on the day of closing, 2 things are going to happen. The funds are going to get exchanged, so you're going to make your final payments. The lender is going to make their final payments, so we call that funding. And then the escrow company will send off a few of the deeds to get recorded with the county, and that's when that transfer officially happens. And once we get those, we call them recording numbers, usually mid to late afternoon on the day of closing, that's when you become the owner and get to take possession of your house. And that's it. That's the home buying process. Thanks so much for watching the 7 steps to buying a home. If you're somebody who is living in the Seattle area or new to the Seattle area and you're thinking, you know what, I would like to learn a little bit more about buying a home, and I'd like to learn a little bit more about my own situation, I'd love to meet with you for a cup of coffee or grab lunch and explore the steps with you and walk through the home buying process together. Now, if you're watching this, you might be thinking, wow, he's just this random guy on YouTube, I've never met him. Well, I meet a lot of people like yourself through my YouTube channel. I have people contact me on a weekly basis, sometimes even daily basis, asking questions and wanting to get informed about the process. So if that's you and you're looking for somebody to help walk through the home buying process with, I'd love to be a resource for you.